Good afternoon, everyone. This video is for explaining our research, and I'm the first author of this research, Naoyuki Terashita, and I'm a saxophone player in Tokyo. The background of this research comes from the difficulties in the practice of wind instruments. In wind instruments such as saxophone can sound too loud, and it's actually impossible to practice them at home. And it's also difficult to keep having a practice spaces such as studios outside home. And one of the most common approach to solve this problem is to use wind controllers and to listen to output sounds through headphones so that the output sound does not exceed the acceptable level of living spaces. And commonly, wind controller has two components. One is sensor for detecting breaths, and the others are sensors for detecting fingerings. And fingering is a combination of fingers that hold the keys of instruments, which determine the node of output sound. And we argue that current fingering detection approach of wind controllers have an issue of differences in tactile feelings, and we argue that it can lead to ineffective practices. Current fingering detection use the physical buttons or touch sensors, which are quite different from keys of actual instrument that has different strokes and different weights for holding keys. And we propose a concept that is turning a player's instrument into a music controller. And when you think about doing this is also important to make it easy to change between the bare instrument and music controller, because it can be main instrument of the prayers. So we propose to detect fingerings using only two devices. One is microphone, and another one is mouthpiece with a built-in loudspeaker. So players can turn it to music controller only by touching these two devices and get it back to a bare instrument by removing them. So how we can detect fingerings using these two devices? The idea of our proposal is every fingering corresponds to its unique frequency characteristics. So inversely, the fingering can be estimated from the frequency characteristics. This is an overview of our proposed method. Loudspeaker in the mouthpiece continuously plays white noise, and the reflected sound recorded from the microphone is converted into frequency domain by using short time Fourier transfer. And the important thing is that sound level of the white noise is suppressed to below than the acceptable level for living spaces. And we detect fingerings using machine learning classification model from amplitude spectrum. We conducted an experiment using an actual saxophone, and the important thing about this experiment is the duration of sampling. We set it to very small value in order to satisfy latency requirement. That is, latency is the delay between playing and actual sound feedback to the player. And this is not clear that this small sampling duration is sufficient for detecting fingerings of players. Unfortunately, we found that our approach and sampling duration is sufficient for classifying fingerings, because the overall misclassification rate was only 1%. By showing this conclusion slide, let me finish the presentation. So thank you for paying attention, and if you find it interesting, please